eyewitness accounts suggest that this was a very well-planned attack. Criminal profiler Pat Brown joining us now from Washington. So, Pat, of what we're hearing about the makeup of this suspect and what this suspect was equipped with, what does this tell you about the motive? What does this tell you typically about the profile of this individual?
Typically, we have what is a mass murdering psychopath. This is his day in the sun. And when I woke up this morning, got the call from CNN, I went online and I found it was already on Wikipedia. So this man has already achieved his goal, which is becoming one of the most famous people in the world, or infamous. His name will go down in history. He'll probably beat out the Columbine guys for numbers. And he's going to be very proud of himself. This is his moment in the sun.
Now, of course, we're still learning about the suspect. Investigators are still combing the scene of his apartment, looking closer at his vehicle. We'll examine, as we heard from our former FBI, Tom Fuentes, they'll be examining his computer records or anything that will tell them a little bit more about him, his background, whether there's any military training, etc. But based on what we know, if indeed initial reports indicating that this was kind of a lone wolf, that there may not be any affiliation with a national or international group, what does this tell you about this person, possibly the motivation, whether he may be kind of an outcast, trying to make a statement?
Well, it's definitely not a terrorist, in my opinion. What we've got is the guy who does want to get back in society, show everybody that, you know, he is important, and you've all kind of ignored me. We usually see this in late teens, early 20s, and in people who are 40 years old, the middle-aged mass murderer who realizes he's not going any place in life anymore and nobody respects him enough. It doesn't have anything to lose, essentially. This is going to be the best thing he's ever going to do in his life. So he's probably prepared for this for a long time, just obsessing over it, gathering up his weapons, probably spending his time in his apartment playing one video game after the other, shooting, and building up his courage and the excitement of when it's going to be real for him. And it's made his day.
So in your view, then, that apartment, as they continue to search, really just might be a treasure trove of information. If this kind of planning clearly had to be quite intense in order to execute something of this scale in a very public place during a time when people are relaxed, having a good time, just after midnight at a movie theater for a big screening.
He totally chose this. This was his perfect fishbowl, and it was going to make the big news because it was the opening night of Batman. So, I mean, that was perfectly planned. If he had been a student, he might have picked a school. You know, that's why the teens often hit the schools, because that's a venue they're comfortable with. I bet you this guy spends his time in movie theaters. I think this is a good place to make this thing happen. So, yes, that apartment, they're going to find a lot of stuff there. This didn't develop overnight. He didn't wake up one day and say, gee, I think I should go shoot up some people. This has been something he's been really into, and now we're going to find probably on Facebook, and anybody who knows him will say, yeah, he always did have a lot of interest in that. He was always playing the video games, and I'm not saying video games make you a killer, but if you're a psychopath, video games help you get in the mode to do the killing. So, it is a problem in our society with teenage psychopaths that they do get, inspired by a lot of this and want to make it real. So it is a danger, but it doesn't make you a psycho. But he probably has been involved in this. His obsession with weaponry has probably been there for a long time. And again, it doesn't mean all gun owners are crazy psychopaths. It just means that this kind of guy would have that interest. And people probably knew it, but never expected it would come to this, as they always say.
Interesting. All right, criminal profiler Pat Brown from Washington, thanks so much as we continue.